Hey there, this is Ray with Ray's Guide, and this is going to be a quick review of the new mining interface along with some initial observations of the distribution of mining resources in the verse. First, let's start with this new, much more useful mining interface. Top center of the circle is the indicator of which mode you are in, charging or extracting, along with a little icon to help you see it at a glance. Then just below it, the planetary compass, very useful for staying oriented, literally. Then to the right side of the arc, you have the charge state of the rock and your mining laser power, which are now more easy to keep in your view at the same time. If you're new to mining, the whole goal is to manage your laser power to keep the charge state in this green area until the bar here fills up. And then if the charge state gets in the red, well, that's bad. And if the red bar looks like it's going to fill up, well, then the best course of action is to get the heck out of there because it's going to explode bad. Now, to the right side, have your scan results, mass, resistance, and instability, along with the computer's evaluation of woes based on your current gear to be easy, medium, hard, challenging, or impossible, which I find these evaluations are pretty spot on. Then the composition bar, which is now color-coded. Stable and sellable contents are white, unsellable material is gray, and unstable contents like Quantanium are red. And then further outward, the control hints, although on some HUDs that occasionally has overlap problems with some of those. Then the gimbal mode of your laser head, just like with other pivoting weapons, and then your cargo hold contents. On the left-hand arc, you have your thrust, speed, and G-force indicators, just smaller than the ones on your usual piloting display, and then the range indicator, which also, if applicable, will be color-coded for too far, just right, and too close distances to your rock. Now here we have information about our mining modules. Now, my personal preference is much like a doctor would treat you with a very strong drug and then give you other medications to reduce the side effects. I tend to go with a very strong mining laser and then use these modules to, mitigate the side effects. But that's just the way I approach things. You can have your own philosophies about this as well. But the display shows you what mining modules you have, what they do, and if applicable, how many charges they have left. It's all well laid out here. And then the usual landing gear, coupled mode, and stick position settings. And then the information about your mining head. Anyhow, it is a nice, user-friendly update to the interface, much more accessible to the new timer, and for the veteran, helping to keep the most critical information related to each other all together in the same area. Now, for my observations about the new distribution of mining resources. Hey, I'm just one guy, and I haven't had a lot of time to work with this, so this will be a general rather than a comprehensive study, and I will be concentrating on rocks and not gems. Rocks now seem to either come solo or in groups of 5 to 7. The solo rocks are almost always large and difficult, and likely requiring a group to mine. Clusters of rocks come in a variety of compositions and sizes. The smallest ones are able to be directly extracted without splitting, which sounds good until you realize that you have to take the inert material rather than cracking and taking the parts with the least inert material. And then at the top end of the cluster are rocks that will likely require a group to split. I haven't been able to study enough samples to reach a definitive conclusion, but it seems like there is no difference in materials distribution between a planet and all of its moons. So the distribution between mining on Hurston itself and on Ariel, Magda, and Eta is pretty much the same. Although with a larger sample size, I wouldn't be surprised if there are differences in proportions that will be discovered. But it's all primarily iron and quartz, which sets up something of the pattern. Each planet and its moons has a heavy metal, a light metal, and a dominant crystal. So, for example, on the moons of Arcorp, it is tungsten, aluminum, and corundum. Around Hurston, it is iron, beryl, and quartz. Most of the rocks will be primarily containing the 3 main components of that planet and its moons. Then you have trace veins of materials, such as leonite, hexaptionite, gold, and so forth. Occasionally you will see rocks with these as a sole or a nearly sole component, but usually they will be mixed in with one of the 3 main components. And then you have the truly rare items like Quantanium. And so the question facing miners, again, is will you be patient and selective and only go after the most valuable trace materials, or do you instead go in and fill often and fill fast? With the ore bags looking to be soon able to be detached and new empty ones attached, the fill often and fill max with a friendly freelancer max being your delivery partner makes a lot more sense than it once did. In addition to that, there's a dilemma about the old strategy just going after the Quantanium. You'll never be able to fill a mold with just Quantanium before having to return, and the time to transload a bag of Quantanium to another ship may be time that you just don't have. On the other hand, if you go Quantanium hunting in a prospector, you might easily find that the rock with Quantanium may not be a rock that you can crack. Wouldn't that be frustrating? So the solution might be to work as a team. The mole cracks the rock with Quantanium, but doesn't harvest it. They call in their friend with the prospector, who hoovers up the Quantanium and hustles it straight away to the refinery. And again, I haven't had a chance to visit every moon and every planet and observe a large enough sample of deposits on each one of them in order to make a full set of findings of what's where. So if you could include in the comments what you've been finding and where you've been finding it, or link to some group that has already done so, it'd be much appreciated. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Ray with Ray's Guide. Now for an update on our giveaways, first we have the 10,000 subscriber thank you giveaway for the LTI Hull C, the colossal cargo container carrying craft to be given away when the C goes live, now on the roadmap for 3.20. And the big annual IAE ship giveaway for the winner's choice of the Galaxy Complete, the massive modular mining moving medical machine, or the brand new big box bargain bazaar known as the Merchantman. One entry per video for both giveaways. Just be a member and be entered automatically, or otherwise just be a subscriber and comment somehow including the secret word. And the secret word for this video is the primary heavy metal on ArcCorp. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond for Ray's Guide.